Finding a colourful eyeshadow palette that's actually worth it is harder than it should be. Some look pretty in the pan, but once you start blending, the pigment disappears. Today I'm breaking down my top 5 rainbow eyeshadow palettes that I genuinely trust, the ones that give me vibrant, long-lasting looks. I've got both affordable and pro palettes, and I'll be sharing exactly which ones I think are worth your money. So let's dive into my top 5 eyeshadow palettes of all time, and trust me, you'll want to see what number 1 is. So starting off at number 5, we have got the ColourPop Fade into Hue palette. So this retails for $35 US. I remember when I first got this palette, I absolutely loved it, and mine is very well loved. As you can see, I have hit pan on quite a few shades. This is like the perfect pastel palette, although there is enough variation in the palette to create a bunch of different looks. I think it's a really great affordable option if you're just starting to explore the world of color and you want a rainbow palette. There's literally every shade you could want: shimmers, mattes, and glitter shades. All of the colors blend really easily, and I created so many fun looks with this palette. Although I don't reach for it as much now, I'm reminded every time I do why I loved it so much. So if you're looking for a budget friendly eyeshadow palette, I would recommend this one. Moving on to number 4, we have the Carnival XL Pro palette. This has actually been changed to the remastered palette. If you're wondering where this one went, it is the same thing. They've just changed where the shades are in the palette and renamed it. So this one retails for $56 US. It is a little bit more expensive than the ColourPop one. This one is also very well loved, with lots of shades having hit pan. I got this palette as a Christmas present quite a few years ago, and safe to say I fell in love with all of the Carnival palettes ever since. This was like the gateway into color addiction. I say this time and time again, the Be Perfect eyeshadow formulas are so good, especially for the price. All of the mattes blend so seamlessly, the shimmers are incredibly creamy and sparkly, and it's really just the perfect palette. I think it's a really great step up if you're wanting to move from your softer looks into your advanced color. I feel like this is a staple to have in your collection. Moving on to number 3, one of my most recent rainbow palettes, and that is the Be Perfect Carnival Interstellar palette. This palette is definitely on the pricier side, retailing at $65 US. However, I really think it is worth your money. I actually got this for a Christmas present from my boyfriend, as if I needed more eyeshadow palettes. This palette is literally so aesthetically pleasing to look at. It is all the shades of the rainbow plus some cool tone grays down the bottom. Can you see why I have this as my number 3? Now, this palette also has the same mattes and shimmers, but it actually has a few foiled glitter shades that are really beautiful if you do like using your glitters. I would argue that because this is a newer eyeshadow palette, the formula is a lot nicer than the previous Carnival palette, and that made my top 5, so that's saying something. This could be a great present to add to your Christmas wish list, or if it goes on sale, it's a really great buy. You get every color of the rainbow, so if you don't have a rainbow palette in your collection, I don't really think you can go wrong with this. It does have every single color. There are also some really unique shades in this palette as well, which I think is what makes it so fun, especially if you are into your cool tone shades. So moving on at number 2, we have the P.Louise 1111 AM to PM palette. I'm wearing a few shades of this palette on my eyes today, so it really speaks for itself. Can we just admire how beautiful this eyeshadow palette is? Seriously, look at it. So this palette retails for $56 US, and I feel like it's such good value for money, especially because this is almost twice the size of my head. P.Louise formulas are really unique. All of the matte shades are just like butter, and the shimmers are probably one of the most sparkly formulas I have ever used. There's also just a whole bunch of really unique colors, and I feel like this eyeshadow palette has such a variety that you really can create endless looks. It does lose a point for not having a black or a white, however I think you can still get some really gorgeous dual toned looks from it. When I purchased this, I got a massive discount, so it is such good value for money if you do purchase it on sale. The colors are super vibrant, and I really do love every look I create with this palette. And finally, this brings me to my all-time favorite rainbow eyeshadow palette. I don't think you guys are going to be surprised. It is the Be Perfect Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. The fact that I have 3 Be Perfect palettes in this lineup should speak volumes to you. This is also another well-loved palette. I just think the colors colours are so unique, and I remember staying up till like 1 in the morning to get this when it first dropped on Be Perfect's website. I was such a big fan of the Carnival palettes, I knew I had to have this. So this palette retails for $60 and it was actually the second Carnival palette I ever owned. I loved the first one that they did, so my mind was completely blown with the formula of the third one. The mattes and the shimmer shades are absolutely gorgeous. Bear in mind the shades do stain in the Carnival palettes, but I mean you get such beautiful vibrant looks that I'm okay with that. This eyeshadow palette is definitely more suited to someone who likes warmer tones, and I definitely do prefer doing a bit more warm vibrant looks on myself. But there is also a nice array of fun colours like the pops of green, and those purple shimmer shades are like butter. The shade Rose Pink in that palette is one of my all-time favourite pink shades. It is so pretty. But that is my number one palette. I have loved it for many years now and I will continue to do so. So those are my top 5 rainbow eyeshadow palettes. What a surprise that 3 of them are from Be Perfect. I seriously can't recommend their eyeshadow formula enough. I have been a big fan of the formula for probably coming up over 5 years now, and I don't think I'll ever stop. I don't think you could go wrong buying any of these palettes as your first rainbow palette because they all do perform so beautifully. Yes, some of these are on the pricier side, but I wouldn't be recommending them if I didn't truly think they were the best of the best. So there you have it, my top 5 rainbow eyeshadow palettes. Did your palette make the list, or is there another palette that you think deserves the number 1 spot? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your picks. Well, that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to see any other content that I don't create here, check out my social medias at Make It With Alex. All of my social medias are linked down below, and let me know what you'd like to see a top 5 next of in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!